Welcome to Behind the Muscle podcast. Today's guest is the owner of Iron University. Today's guest is Aldo Paredes. Aldo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, man. This is my second one, so I'm looking forward to getting better at this because, like I said, it's my second one. So
cool, man. I'm excited to have you on, dude. I reached out to you, I think, a day or two ago, and we're making it happen. I appreciate it. So the first question that I like to ask all my guests, Aldo, is who are a few of your favorite bodybuilders of all time?
Bodybuilders, they have to be bodybuilders? Or?
No, it doesn't have to be bodybuilders, no.
Okay, so from the top of my head, Charles Glass, Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Tom Platz, and Christian Guzman.
Awesome. Okay, why Charles Glass as number one?
Because when I first started working out, this was way before YouTube. The only trainer that was like published in magazines was Charles Glass. And I was very self-conscious about like asking other people for help when it comes to working out because I was so young and everybody around me was playing sports. And the only person that I could like really refer to is in the magazines to Charles Glass. So I would just read his articles, look at the images. And then when YouTube came out, he was the only trainer that was like published on YouTube on bodybuilding.com. So I just grew up watching him and like learning from him and trying to understand his creative ways. And he's the one who got me into, training and like the mind muscle connection and all the unique ways of training the body part with one particular like machine. So he opened up my eyes at a really young age, and that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, that's something that I definitely kind of grew up on the magazines as well. And I miss the magazines, man. Social media is great, but there was just something, I don't know, special and unique and different about the magazines. And I know Charles, I think he had a article in Muscular Development. I'm sure there were some other magazines. Is that the one you kind of first picked up, Muscular Development, or? It
was all of them. Like, I remember there was Muscle and Fitness, Muscular Development was the most biggest one. So I probably saved that for the last. There was Flex Magazine. There was Men's Health, but I figured that was like whack after a while. I didn't never want to read that one again. And then there was like local ones called Planet Muscle and like different other ones that were on the convenience store stand. But those were the main ones that I really read up on.
Cool. All right. Second question I kind of like to ask all my guests just to get the ball rolling here, Aldo, is at what age did you start lifting weights and why did you start lifting weights at that age?
I started lifting weights like at lifting. Well, I started working out at like when I was in 7th grade, like around 12 years old. And I just started doing like pull-ups, like on the monkey bars and shit, like in middle school. And then once I hit 9th grade, I asked my mom for a bench press machine from like Walmart or like Target. And I got one of those flimsy ones. And I didn't know how to do anything, just, bench. And then I just benched and then my chest grew and then I didn't know how to use anything else. So then I signed up to a gym and that year is when YouTube came out. So then I started watching all the YouTube videos and I just started getting more information and then I just soaked everything up like a sponge after that. And then, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And we're going to get into the rest of that. Now, the one question I'm curious about, Aldo, is when you kind of started to really like lift weights and stuff, I mean, were you kind of addicted and kind of like pulled into that right away, or did it take you some time to kind of warm up to the strength training?
No, I was addicted to it right off the bat. Like, I love the fact that, I never played sports. Not that like I'm not a people person. I'm just like, I was always self-conscious because I was young, I guess. And like, I knew that maybe I sucked, so I didn't want to suck in front of everybody. So working out and bodybuilding inside my room, I could be weak, but like no one's watching me. And then as I started getting stronger and a little bit bigger, then I'm like, oh shit, now I could, I feel a little bit better that I could like work out because everybody else around me is fucking skinny. So that helped me. And I guess just the fact that it's a one-person sport, or one-person hobby pretty much because that's what it was. And I just got addicted to it, and I just like started reading more magazines, started reading, what else did I start reading? I started taking supplements. So I started reading up on the supplements, and I started working at a GNC, and I just got addicted to everything about it. So
cool. And we're going to kind of keep going with that here in a minute, but I kind of like to ask all my guests about their upbringing, their childhood. So if you don't mind sharing with myself and the listeners, where did you grow up? You already talked about you didn't really play sports, but what kind of shaped and molded your childhood? Just touch on that for a couple minutes.
So I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. And I guess what like pretty much raised me was like my mother and father got a divorce when I was like in 4th or 5th grade. And my dad left and my mom had to work like 2 jobs. So she was never home. So I was always by myself. And that's what like helped me just start working out. And I wouldn't ask anybody for help because I didn't have anybody ask anybody for help. So that helped me like be more independent and not listen to everybody's opinion, but just come up with my own opinions and learn from trial and error. And in return, when I would work out, I wouldn't ask, people in the gym or trainers for help or advice, because that molded me being alone to figure out things on my own. So the videos of Charles and like the magazines, like back then we didn't have a phone to like look, oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Like I'd have to like, visually remember, okay, and then learn it on my own. So being alone helped me develop like an intuition with my own self and my own body, and even with my mind muscle connection, and just learning how the my body works, and visualizing and seeing how other people's body works through, life experience and through videos of Charles Glass and the way he trained different body parts and different bodybuilders. So that helped me out a lot.
Now, what was your relationship? I know you said your mom was, really busy working just to provide and everything. Did you and your mom have a pretty strong connection and a good bond, or what was that relationship like?
I mean, I love her and she loves me, but she was like at that age, like she was literally, when I would wake up, she would be gone to work. When I'd come back to go to sleep, to go to school the next day, she wasn't even back from work yet. So I never saw her. But doing that over the years, when you're 5th grade, that's when you start, becoming like, how do I talk to girls? How do I fight? What do I like? I had to figure that all by myself. I didn't, so I had to figure things on my own. So I pretty much like just shelled myself in and like never reached out to her or anything, because one, she wasn't there. 2, you don't ask a mom, how do you fight, and like how to talk to girls and stuff. So it just merged me into like being just learning shit on my own. So it's not that we weren't close because like she's my mom type of thing, but like when it comes to those things, like, but that's a big part, but the love was always there. But like those things, as you grow up to be a boy or a man, young adult, like I never reached out to her about those things. And that's what causes more of a connection and a bond with a parent and a child. But I never had that with anybody. So that was our relationship. Like, yeah, I love her. She loves me, but never that, that close.
Yeah. Did you, and then we'll kind of move on from the childhood, but growing up, did you have, like some like bitterness and anger that you kind of had to work through as you were kind of like just alone and trying to figure things out on your own? Was that something that you had to kind of work through or not?
Well, so in the moment, I don't know if it's bitterness or anger, but I knew that I was in a different situation than all my other friends, because I was raised and born in like a little community where it's like, Jewish dominant, and they're all my friends, and like, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but they all financially, they're good, and they have two parents at home, and then me, I just, kind of didn't have like anybody. So I would overhear them talking about, oh, my dad told me to do this, my mom, and I'm like, I couldn't connect with them. So it's like, okay, I can't connect with them on that level. I can't connect with them like hanging out, like, going places with them. And like, that also made me feel, even though they were my friends, it still made me feel like alone out of the group of friends. So I felt like I needed to always like try harder to get to their level. And then like I felt like I was socially always struggling to be on their level type of thing. But then once like high school came, I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, that's what makes me me. I don't gotta be on their fucking level. Like, I know how to do shit on my own. They have to ask mommy and daddy for fucking money. I fucking like steal Pokemon cards and I flip them and I make money. And now at an older age, I'm like, damn, I literally had $0 and I fucking made money without having money. And I was like, holy shit. And now I see these people, some of them, they're, you know, still living off mommy and daddy. And it's like, shit, hell yeah. So that back then, that's what I thought. But now I'm like super happy about it. So
For sure. No, that's cool, man. You definitely learned just through life experiences, and that's I think sometimes the best way to learn. Now, when you were kind of getting towards the end of high school and stuff, Aldo, what were you thinking about doing? What did you want to do? Kind of what did you want to be when you grew up? Talk about that, and then talk about kind of what you did after you graduated high school.
So first, I was trying to graduate high school because I didn't care about school. All I cared about was bodybuilding. Like, that's how bad it, like, not bad it was, but that's how obsessed I was with it. I didn't care about anything else. All I cared about was working out, taking supplements, you know, bodybuilding. And I had like I had a 1 point something GPA, and you need a 2.0 to graduate. So like the last 2 semesters, I had to get overrides from different teachers from the past year. So I was struggling with that. Finally got a 2.0, graduated, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at all. I knew I loved bodybuilding, and everybody around me was like, yeah, this guy's gonna obviously do something with bodybuilding or own a gym or something like that. But I never really saw myself as doing that because I was a fuck up, pretty much. Like I could barely fucking, you know, graduate high school. But it's not because I didn't want to, it's just I didn't care. But I still graduated without ever studying. So I'm like, at least I know how to get out of situations on my own. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I started like being a little bit more conscious and being a little bit more aware of like my abilities. So I'm like, all my friends were doing drugs and doing partying during my high school years and then continuing that after. But I was always into bodybuilding. And then I would read in the bodybuilding magazines like the consistency and the ages of like Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, all those people when they first started working out. And then I started seeing these new generation of people like bodybuilding, working out, they start so old. They never start the young age as back in the 80s and the 90s. So I'm like, I have a heads up on all these people. Yeah, I wanted to compete back then, but I'm like, damn, I have like a heads up on these people. But I know as I grow older, I'm probably gonna want to like experiment with like partying and drinking and stuff like that. I'm like, let me get this out of my system, but I'm gonna still work out. Let me be fucking stupid and reckless because I don't have kids, I don't have a job. So I attempted community college. I like struggled there because I was still into bodybuilding and partying at the same time. So then I moved to Tallahassee with all my friends, failed every single class, came back to Miami. Took me like it took me like a lot of years to graduate college, but the last year I was like, okay, I'm like 20, almost 6. Like I need to get the fuck out of here and start doing something. So I finally I finally got to the university at FIU, and then I forced myself to be on the furthest campus away from home so I wouldn't drive home. So I graduated, and then yeah, that was that. And then
Cool. So during that entire time, then you were lifting weights, you were doing some sort of like bodybuilding type training. Then is that correct?
Well, you broke up, it froze, and I didn't hear anything.
No, that's cool. So during like college and everything, you were still like training, you were still doing some sort of bodybuilding type style training, right?
Yes. I was still learning, still doing all that stuff, hunger, like not sleeping, partying, and
Cool. All right. So let's get into kind of more of the what you did when you kind of got done with college and kind of got your head on straight, so to speak. What did you pursue? What did that kind of look like in terms of fitness and bodybuilding and all of that?
So I wanted to graduate with a bachelor's in advertising, but I didn't want to spend another year in college because I was already getting old. So I got my bachelor's in communication arts. And as soon as I was graduating, I got an internship for a position somewhere. And then one of my friends asked me in the community, can you please train my friend? Like, she's getting married. Like, we don't trust anybody. And everybody in this little town, like I said, knows about me when I first started working out. And to this day, like, I don't need a certification. I don't need to go to Yale for exercise physiology or any of that stuff, because they've seen me since I was a little kid to now, visually every single day, grow into the person I am now. So they trust me without any certifications. So they were begging me. I'm like, okay, fine. I never trained anybody in my life before. I didn't even know how to price it. So I was like, all right, shoot me $15 each one of you. They're like, okay, we want to do it 3 times a week. I'm like, okay. I didn't even have a car back then. I'd ask my mom if I could use her car. I'd go to their house, train them in the parking lot. And then they got in shape, and then small community, the word got around, and then I got these clients and those clients. And then it started interfering with my internship. And then I was like, I'm not getting paid for this. This is not really what I want. This is my passion, and it's literally easy. I could like go like this and train people. So I'm like, fuck this. And I told them I quit, and then I just took that on. And remember, I didn't have a certification. I didn't have a gym to train anybody at. So I started sneaking into different buildings that the clients didn't even live in, like the Trump in Sunny Isles, like 2 other hotels, and then like this other place where my friends live. And it went on good for like a year until I got kicked out of all of them, and they like caught on. And then that's when I ended up moving into a personal training facility that was like 100 square feet that this guy owned from the gym that I actually trained myself at. He opened up his own studio, and that's where I started actually training people out of an actual gym.
Cool. Now, did you ever end up competing yourself in any type of bodybuilding or men's physique, or have you kind of always just immersed yourself in the coaching and the training of others?
No, so I competed 3 times. Yeah, so I competed 3 times. I did men's physique for all of them. The first show, it was the Bill Wilmore Classic. He was also my coach. I placed first in novice, placed first in open. And then the second show was the Amanda Cadu show. I got 5th or 6th. And then the third show, it was the CJ Classic. I got 1st in open, and I think I did novice again because it was such a long period of time that I haven't like done my last show. So I did novice again. I got 1st, and then after that, I just got fully immersed in training. And yeah.
Did you enjoy the competing, or was it? Did you?
Yeah, I fucking enjoyed it. Like, everybody was like, all right. Like, I see it from a different perspective, like, because we grew up like in the 80s and the 90s reading the magazines without social media. So we understand that everything is like, you have to go through that. And like back then, no one did it for attention. Everybody did it because they loved to suffer. They loved doing that. And they didn't need to like, I have a gallon of water, everybody, or I'm eating out of Tupperware. Do you see me? Like shit like that. No. So doing it was super easy. It was like an on and off switch, and like I didn't complain at work. And then everybody was like, how are you doing? It's peak week. How do you? I'm like, the fuck, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, it was so like enjoyable and easy. But then looking around, it's like, you guys are all fucking crybabies. Like, we get it. Like, it sucks, but it's the whole point. And then yeah, it was really enjoyable, like experiencing it and externally seeing how everybody's saying it's hard. it's like, now it makes it more enjoyable because it's so easy for you, because it's an actual passion for you. So that was another part of, like, you know, enjoyment, is externally seeing how, you know, society perceives it, or the people that are in the, you know, bodybuilding world now, how they like, it hurts, or like, you know, it's like, yeah, but this is fun. So you're the crazy one, and you're the one having fun. And yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Cool, cool. Yeah, and that's something I see some people post on social media, is just, it's a great reminder. It's like, why are you complaining? This is a choice that you've made, right? You know, so it is definitely kind of interesting out there now with competing and all that. Now let's get into the coaching and the training. So you kind of like go back to that community you grew up in, things start taking off. Why don't you continue to kind of just unpack that story to the point where you have Iron University now?
So I got into that training facility, and then after like 2 years, I just outgrew it, and I was training clients from like 5 a.m. to like 2 p.m. 4 girls at a time on the hour, every hour, and then I would go back at like 7:30 or 6:30 until 8:30, and I was just getting like busier and busier. And the reason why I had to put so many girls at the same time was because I didn't have much hours during the day, and at that point, I also didn't know I didn't know what to do with money, because I didn't have that, like, I didn't know what to do with my money, and I was always working. So I was just working and enjoying what I was doing while everything was, you know, piling up. But then I remembered, oh, I failed college a lot and I had student loans. So I used like my money to pay off all my student loans. So I paid off all my student loans, and then I started dating this girl, and now she's like my sister, and like her mother is like my second mother now. And like I said, it was like a Jewish community, and the owner of the studio, like, I learned how to not run a business by watching him. So I'm a trainer, private contractor, paying him rent, and all my clients are dominantly, you know, Jewish. And he would make, you know, jokes and shit, and I would feel uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'm training my clients. Like, you shouldn't even be talking about this. That's one rule. That's one of the rules that you don't do. You don't talk about religion, politics, any of that stuff at a business or at a dinner table, anything. And then he started talking about politics, and it's like, dude, okay, I can't do this. Like, you're like, fuck this. Like, and he just didn't know how to manage. Like, you know, he wasn't a good businessman. So I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Like, he's been telling me he's going to break down a wall for so long, and he hasn't. It's been like 3 years, and I'm crunched up like this. And like, now, after me getting so many clients, now a lot of other trainers are starting to come, and he's letting people off the street come in and train. And now it's like crammed up, and he just wants to make more money, I guess, thinking like, you know, back then. But he never opened or expanded it. So I was like, I need to open up my own gym. I was gonna buy a house, but I realized that I can't make money at a house. And I used the money. I found a gym that was going out of business. It was like a personal training studio. I bought the whole thing, and then on top of that, I started looking up certain specific pieces of equipment all around Florida. And I would, as soon as I would get a response, I'd get in my Jeep, go to Home Depot, get a trailer, go straight over there, pack it, come back, get a storage unit, stack all the machines I always wanted since I was a kid. And then once I got my lease and I got the building open, my uncle came, he helped me renovate everything. And then we brought in all the machines. And then, then I brought all my clients. I had like 75 to 80 clients, brought them literally across the street. I found the place, came across the street, and then it was just me and 80 of my clients. And that's all I knew was just, okay, this is how it's going to be. And then after that, it was just me for like a year. And I didn't even plan on like thinking it was going to get this big. And one of the kids back at the gym that I used to train at, he comes in and like he was so like, how do you say, innocent, I guess. I see what you did. Like he was a lot younger than me too. So he was like, I see what you did. Like I admire you. Like, I just want to do what you're doing. Like, is there any way like I could shadow you or something? Like, I'm training people at LA Fitness, like 2 people for like $10. I'm like, it sounds like me back then. And I wish I had someone that I could go to like me. So I was like, look, dude, like I have no fucking clue what I'm fucking doing. I'm just learning as I go. I'm making like, you don't need to pay me. Just come and like we'll figure it out as we go together. But I don't need your money. Like I'm good. Just, you down? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then that was the first trainer. And then I guess that vibe, like just literally just started, creating that energy where like I don't need to make money off people. Like it's just gonna happen naturally and organically. Me not being greedy or anybody being greedy, and no ego, because he came to me like this. I guess anybody else could be like, but I was like, dude, I'm on the same fucking boat, bro. Like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. I was honest. I was transparent. And that's how we grew the relationship with that trainer. And then the next trainers and the next trainers and the next trainers. And then it just started a community and a culture that people that come here are only people that just want to work out, train, and get the fuck out and have respect for their equipment. And it's like a big happy family, pretty much.
That's cool, man. So I've got some other things I want to pull out of the from what you just shared, Aldo. But so currently, like, is Iron University then, is it more of just like a facility for personal trainers? Is it open to the public? What does it look like?
So it's open to the public, but I don't promote the gym itself. So in my theory of the whole entire that thing, because everybody always asks me, is it private or is it open to the public? I'm like, it's open to the public, but I never announce or advertise that it's open to the public. I just let the way that it's advertised without advertising. I advertise without advertising. That's my way of doing it. So the people that do reach out are the people that already committed mentally inside their head that this is the place they want to be. Not, oh, come to my gym, work out here. It's a great environment. Like, I don't want that. I want the people that are, so I get a lot of people saying that it's intimidating. It's intimidating. Okay, great. Well, if it's intimidating, this might not be for you, and that's okay. There's other gyms out there, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness. Those are for, I guess people like you that are intimidated. That's fine. But I'm not going to change my ways for anybody else. So the people that maybe feel intimidated and they're like, you know what, I'm going to take this challenge. I want to go. I actually kind of want to go there. I'm kind of scared, but fuck it, let's go. I want those people. Or the people are like, oh shit, hell, fuck yeah, that's the fucking gym I want to go to. Fuck this shit, and they come here. So those are the type of people that I want to come in. So without promoting that it's public, I get those people. So it is public, but it's been working perfectly fine. So it looks private, but it's open to the public.
I love that, man. I think that's a great way to build a community, build a culture, and build a business. Now, because I know you're kind of just, you're just going as things go, right? Like, it's not like you have a business degree. You didn't have like a business mentor. So to share with myself, I own a gym and am in real estate and stuff myself. So to share with myself and then also the listeners, what are some of those business lessons? What are some of those things that you have learned about being in charge, overseeing, owning a business up to this point?
So first and foremost, I share this with everybody. Always listen to your gut instinct and and what you feel. Even if no one's gonna fucking like understand you, your parents are not gonna understand you, your friends, your family, even your loved ones, even like, maybe your girlfriend, and they might knock it down or like, but they're not doing it on purpose. They're doing it because they love you and they don't want to see you hurt or, be vulnerable. That's okay. But we don't think that way at that moment. But now reflecting back, I understand where they're coming from. And I understand how hard it was during that moment to like fight everybody off and just think with this and like your heart. And it's like, just block everything out, because at the end of the day, they don't have the same passion that you do. And just listen to it and just fucking keep going. And don't even listen to the fucking business News Times Week shit. The person that fucking graduated from Yale or Harvard University with a business degree. Cause like at the end of the day, what's your business plan? Everybody would ask me that. What's your business plan? I'm like, I'm the fucking business plan. That's me, fucking me. I'm gonna fucking make sure nothing happens to this because I fucking love what I fucking do. Like your fucking little textbook's not gonna fucking tell me what I'm gonna do, what I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna make sure at the end of the day, I have this running every single day to its full potential out of love that I have for it. But you can't teach that. There's certain things you can't teach. And that's why I try to tell people, like, just stay like, you know, true to yourself. Yeah, it's okay, you know, to get like, you know, stick it notes from when you listen to these people give their opinions, but don't let that, you know, dictate your train of thought. Just keep it there whenever you need it. Oh yeah, I remember. And then use that in the future whenever, you know, it applies to a situation, you know, but be open-minded, have your ears open, but always stick true to yourself and just, you know, you might not see it right now, but trust me, if you keep going, you're going to start seeing it unfold and you're going to be like, damn, thank God I didn't listen. So that's like the biggest thing.
Absolutely, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, I'm very curious. You said when you kind of were like, hey, I'm going to break away from, you know, this gym that you were training at, I'm going to do my own thing. And then you said you started going out, getting your own pieces of equipment that you've wanted since you were a kid. What are a few of those pieces that you initially went out and got?
The first one that I've been looking for, like since I was a kid, before I even had a gym, before I even thought about even ever having a gym, was the Icarian standing lateral raise. I would see it, imagine, I'm like, damn, that must feel so fucking good. And no gym around here ever had it. So even when I had my own gym, still no gyms ever had it. And I was like, fuck. And I feel like when I opened up Iron University is when other gyms started realizing like we should start buying these unique pieces. And I started seeing like other gyms, like in other areas, you know, other places like Redcon, not Redcon, but like other gyms around the United States started to do that. And still no standing up. I carry a lateral raise machine. I was like, fuck, man, that's the one I wanted. But I got it like a year and a half later. But that was like the number one I always wanted. I finally got it, obviously. But the other machines that I always wanted were the Strive machines, because I knew like back then Strives they are now prime. So I got a Strive line leg curl, a Strive leg extension, Strive chest press, and I got each one for $300. Yeah, it's a fucking steal. Exactly. And then I found a pendulum. So the Rogers Athletic Pendulum Squat Pro, back then it only had like two places to put the plates. A lot of people didn't know about that shit, like at all. This was like 3 years ago, like 4 years ago. So no one knew about it. I found it for $300. It was just sitting in this like a fucking warehouse. The guy bought it from some other guy and he didn't want to move it. So he's like, I just need this moved out of here. I'm like, shit, okay. So I got that one, was another one. I found a True Squat for $150. What else? What else? A King Power Squat I got for 400 in Orlando, and then every other piece. What else? But those were like the main and then I always wanted the Flex Hack Squat too, the Flex Hack Squat, and I finally found one after 2 years. So those were like the main ones I wanted, but I still have a couple that I still want, but I don't have enough room. So. Cool.
I love that, man. I'm sure you and I could probably chat about equipment for the next hour or two. Now, so Iron University, where does that name come from? And then once we kind of get through that, I want to start talking about more of the nuts and bolts of coaching and things like that. But Iron University, where does that come from?
So it comes from, I'm a big like X-Men, Marvel, DC, like comic kind of kid growing up. And, you know, X-Men had Professor Xavier, and his school was the school for the, was it the gifted? The school for the gifted. Yeah. So the school for the gifted. So obviously all the people in his school are all mutants. They're not humans. So growing up, I'm like, as I started seeing the gym crowd start deteriorating into like people that just want attention, I was like, damn, man, I wish there was like a fucking gym that was just meant for like people like me, people like that guy that just walks in, works out, cleans his shit, and gets the fuck out. And those are the people that train harder than all these other people, that have more respect for the machines, have more respect for others. And it's only like 1 or 2% of the gym population. But now there's no gym like that. In my head, I'm like, I want a fucking gym that's just created for beasts, like for fucking people that are obsessed with this shit. So as I opened up Iron University, I didn't even have a name, so I was thinking about Iron Academy. And then I looked it up. Seth Feroci had his YouTube going on, and it was called Iron Academy. I was like, God damn it, fuck. All right, let me back to the drawing board. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, how about Iron University? I'm like, fuck that. I hate university. Oh, wait. And I started thinking about how all these people still rock Harvard University, Yale University t-shirts, and they don't even go there. So I'm like, oh my God. I started thinking about, merchandise. I was like, hell yeah. So then after that, I looked up logos. I found a logo from, was it Ohio State University? It's an O. So I didn't know who to hire or who to call to make me a fucking logo. So I just chopped off the top and it was a U. I'm like, okay, that's going to be the logo. So then someone told me about this website, 99 Designs. So I gave them that picture and I'm like, create it like this. And then they came up with the logo and that was that.
Perfect, man. Perfect. All right. So, okay, before we get into the coaching, one other question, since we're on the topic of your gym and Iron University, do you have, like, I know you kind of just go with the flow, but do you have, now that you've been in business for a while, kind of a long-term vision or a long-term goal with Iron University? Or again, are you just kind of going with the flow, see what happens, let it happen?
So the way that I work, because I have ADHD really bad, not really bad, it's really good actually. I see it in a different perspective. So I already have things set up in my head. Okay, so if it goes this way, I'm going to do this. If it goes this way, I'm going to do this. If it goes this way, I'm going to do this. If it goes this way, I'm going to do this. But I don't force myself to go one way. I just let life happen organically. And then if it's like, oh, this happened organically, but this relates to this, so I'm going to go with this. So I just let life go. And then I already have all these options that I want to take. But if life steers me this way, then I know, okay, I'm going to end up with this one and I'm going to work towards this one. But all those things they have its place, and however life takes me, I'm going to go towards that one of those goals, But obviously, like, I came back from the Olympia, I was going to relax. And then the next day over became available and they asked me if I wanted it. I'm like, I need it. So now I'm breaking down. This is my third time expanding. So now I'm breaking down that wall. Now I have to focus on that. And then one more year and a half, then my lease is up. Now that comes, I have to think about, all right, do I stay here? Do I go somewhere else? So that's how life took me to that direction. Now, obviously I want something. I'm starting to consider making a public gym where, everybody could go to and still have Iron University. And I have ideas for that, but I don't know when that would happen because I'm enjoying the way this is growing, because it's only been like 3.5, almost 4 years. So I can't really say I want that, because this might be this, and this is what I want, and this is only what I want, and I don't want to deal with the public type of thing. So I can't say which are, which not. So I'm just open to life.
Yep, you're open to life. You got options. It's good, man. Okay, so coaching, training. I think do you mostly train females then? Is that kind of your main focus, expertise?
So I get that a lot. If I only train females. It's not that I only train females. I train anybody that wants to train. But what I've learned is that women have a higher pain tolerance than men, and men are pussies when it comes to pain. They're the biggest pussies when it comes to pain. Oh, my knee, man. I fucked it up in high school. All right, you're fucking 35, bro. High school was so fucking long ago. Oh, I can't train legs. Shut the fuck up. Women, you could push them, break them, and they're fucking like, okay, what's next? And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Hell yeah. They're the most enjoyable because they don't have an ego. They want, like, it's not that they want to learn. Obviously, they want to learn too. But I feel like they have something to prove because this is like a male dominant sport. So they're always battling with themselves and pushing hard and through everything. So, and they're the ones that have no ego. So they want to come in, they want to learn, they want to be pushed. Other guys are like, internally, like, oh my God, fuck that. That's going to expose how much of a pussy I am when it comes to pain. No, I'm not going to go there. Now, fuck that gym. They only train girls, man. Fuck that. That's how they are. Literally, let's be realistic. That's how guys think. So, I mean, I'm open to training guys, but they just don't want to, you know, be in the trenches and shit.
All right. So talk about maybe some of your clients, some of your athletes. Talk about having the opportunity to train high level IFBB pros, top level NPC athletes. Maybe talk about your first one and then how that has kind of snowballed, so to speak.
Yeah. So my first one was, her name was Nika. She was like winning all the local like NPC shows, but she wasn't, what was it? She wasn't from this country. So she had to win a bunch of shows in order to get her pro card. And she got there. She won her pro card, winning all those NPC shows. And then she got signed to Blackstone. And then that's when she reached out to me and I started training her. She loved it. I mean, her body changed. And then she stopped competing. And then another athlete of Stephanie, the app chick, she reached out. I started training her. She's like my sister too now. And like, she loved it. And her fiance now, congratulations, is a doctor. He's studying to be a doctor, and all my theories and stuff, like he would be open to listening. And he's like, wow, like that. Okay. Yeah. Like kind of makes sense, but it like, there's no proof that it doesn't make sense type of thing. So it's like, it was good. Like that was so like, what was it? Like a stamp of approval from even like a person that smart when it comes to like, you know, book smarts and shit. Like, you know, that helped me like gain more confidence. And then training her helped me gain more confidence in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And she moved back. And then after that, it just like started, you know, speedballing. After that, I opened up a glute camp because everybody wanted to start training with me glutes. And I didn't have enough, you know, time during the day to train all these people. And on top of that, obviously I'm increasing my rates at the time. So I found a way how like all these people could train with me. And I created a format where it's a class, but it's machine based, but it's me and like five to four other coaches at each machine. And you can't duplicate that at any other gym because you have to pay those trainers to be there. So then you're not going to be making any money, or you're going to be making less money than what you're making, you know? So I came up with the perfect way of running that, and it just started spreading like wildfire. And then, you know, NPC athletes would come through and they would die. And then like the pandemic happened and I was just giving away free workouts every single day because I was still training clients because like I'm hidden. So I was writing out workouts on a whiteboard, giving them away, you know, to everybody for free. And then Dragon Farmer reached out and they wanted to sign me as an athlete. I was like, wait, let me see this. Like, I'm thinking they're gonna pay me in like supplements and shit. And I'm like, I wrote an email back trying to be all professional. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, is there any compensation? And then they're like, yes. And then they showed me. I'm like, wait, is this happening right now? Like, am I getting like signed by a fucking supplement company for doing what I'm fucking passionate about during a fucking pandemic? Like, that was like the most like top of the list, like bucket list goal that I always wanted was to be like Charles Glass. Charles Glass was signed by Muscle Tech. He didn't have to do any shows. Like us trainers that are signed, we don't have to do shows. We don't got to look good. We don't have to like be on a diet all the time. We just have to do what we love, and that's it. It's the best fucking job. And the fact that I got that, I was like, holy shit, felt so amazing. And then now that I'm signed with them, I got the opportunity to train with Bakar, and she became literally like my fucking sister. And I trained her every day, and then training her and like training all these other athletes, Bobby, the top 10 wellness. She just did the Olympia right now. Brandon's girlfriend, the men's physique champion. So training all these people, they already have a trust in me, I guess, when they first meet me, like, or before meeting me, because they follow me for so long, or just started recently following me, and they see like all the people that I trained along the years. And it's great because these athletes that come to me, they already know what they're getting themselves into. So it's not like I have to like show them like, look at my resume. This is who I train. Please train with me. No, it's not that. It's like, oh, you sure? Okay, cool. Let's train. And then that's it. So that's the experience that I've had training all these people.
Talk about
and my girlfriend. She just got what the fuck? Top second place at the Mr. Olympia bikini. Like training her, like is amazing. Like obviously it's amazing because she's my girlfriend now. Yeah, that was eye-opening for me because like I'm very like in it with high intensity, but when it comes to like modifying the physique, like during shows back to back, especially with a bikini athlete, it's challenging, but I was ready for it. And like it was like she saw how easy it was for me to like just like splurge stuff out of my brain when she needed like her physique to change for this show and that show. And she trusted me, and then we executed it. She did her diet, and her body fucking changed. And she was like, holy shit, you were like, wow. And I'm like, well, you did the nutrition. I just like told you what to do. She never thought her body could get to that level. And it did. And it felt so good to like have someone at like, I guess now that, level trust you so much. And it came out so easy for me. And then the end product was like so grand to her and to me was like, it was amazing seeing that and like experiencing that moment right there. So, and then obviously her winning. So
for sure, man. That's good stuff. Talk about being at the Olympia a couple weekends ago. Just kind of that experience, having it for the second year in Florida.
It was fucking great. This one was the craziest one, the most fun one, because when I first started training with Charles Glass, it was like 6 years ago. And the first time, like I stayed there for a whole week in Vegas, and I trained with Charles every single year. And I went there as a spectator. That was my first Olympia, first time training with Charles. And I was there like a little boy, like in the games. Oh my God. Like, and I was scared to like say hi to those athletes back then. And then the next year I went back, same thing, trained with Charles for a whole week. Oh my God. And then the third year I went back, I'm like, it's the same thing. Okay, cool. Train with Charles, that was the best part. And then I think the fourth year I went, I was like, okay, I walked in, and then it was the same thing. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to wait until prejudging. And then I left, came back for prejudging, watched it. And then usually people don't go to the finals. They just watch it online back then. And then that's what I did. And then I was like, whatever. And then the pandemic happened. It happened over here. And I knew it wasn't going to be the same. So I didn't go. And then this year I had to go. My girlfriend's competing. So I went, and it was like, I got lost in the moment because obviously I'm there for her as a boyfriend, not a trainer or a spectator. I'm there to support my woman. So there's moments in there where I had to be like, yo, bro, like wake up, like, okay, yes, you're the boyfriend, but remember, in your life right now, step back for a second. She is there and you're in here now, not out there. Now appreciate your life right now. Appreciate everything that's going on, like from a bigger scale, not just for me, just a bigger scale. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking incredible. Wow. And then now I'm talking like, to this person, this photographer, this job, like, and it's like, holy fucking shit. And like, just interacting with everybody in the industry now, it was cool. It was a cool feeling. But like, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm there for my girl, not, I'm not a competitor. I'm not there to work. I'm there to support my girlfriend, because I told my girlfriend, I don't make money off bodybuilders. All the people that come to my gym, they have 9 to 5s. Like 99% of the way I make money is not bodybuilding. So being in there was strictly there to support my girlfriend. So that was cool, knowing that I could just like be myself and not care about like who's in the room, who's that. Like, okay, cool. He's a bodybuilder. I don't make money off them. I make money off these people. Oh, okay. This person walks into the room, and I'll be like, yes, what's up, man? How are you? Like, you know? So it was cool. It was like a great experience and like a very like self-growth experience for myself too. So yeah.
Excellent. I want to be respectful of your time. We've been going for about an hour, so we're going to wrap it up here. But a couple things that you have on your Instagram that I was curious about in your bio. One of the statements is control the negative, and then the other statement is every rep has a purpose. What is the meaning behind those two statements?
So control the negative has two meanings, obviously. So obviously, Dorian Yates always says control the negative. So when I trained with him, he kept saying it and saying it. And like, even before that, that would always be my thing. I'd scream out, control the fucking negative throughout in all my old videos. So I put that up. And then on top of that, in life, control the negative. Like when something bad happens in your life, it's okay. Like, it's not that it's okay. Just don't let it control you. You control it. So control the negative when it comes to life. And then every rep has a purpose. I learned and I created like a way of doing a set where you do a more, like, I call them conscious reps, where you're so like consciously aware of everything that's going on, and you're not using your joints, nothing. You're just utilizing the specific muscle that's intended for the exercise. You hit failure with that one, then you do a more of an explosive contraction. So now you have more reps left in the tank with that form of rep. And then I call them general public reps, where you just go and do it like the general public. So you're hitting failure 3 times in one set. The conscious way of doing it, the explosive contraction way of doing it, and then the all out like general public type of reps. Now it's not there's nothing in text where it says it's wrong or where it's right, but it's been working so far for everybody, as you can see. And I love it. So it literally states every rep has a purpose. Rep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each rep is intended for something. Now, if you just use momentum from the beginning, then all those reps are shit, you know? But use those type of reps accordingly to help you get to where you need, but don't let your whole entire workout be based off those shitty reps, you know? So that's where every rep has a purpose.
Cool. All right. So we're gonna finish it up here, wrap it up. What would you like to say? Actually, before I kind of give you the final word, I do want to ask you, because I'm sure there's maybe some listeners that would like to know, if you have one exercise to target the glutes, what are you gonna pick?
Hold on. It's frozen.
Oh,
okay.
Do you still hear me or not?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so one exercise to target the glutes, what are you gonna pick?
Squats.
Squats. Okay, cool. Smith machine, barbell.
So I always tell people, whatever you feel confident and comfortable with, stick to that, learn that, and learn how to like contract your glutes through that motion. Because if you try a new way of a squat, you're gonna not waste time, but you're gonna spend time learning how to do a squat in that piece of equipment or that way, and then you have to start from scratch. So if you already have like a specific way of doing a squat and you're comfortable with that, now just add something else in instead of like reconstructing everything, So go with something that you're familiar with and you're confident in, and then just learn how to like execute and squeeze your glutes and get that mind muscle connection. Oh, and whenever your glutes are sore, train them again the next day with different squat variations and see which ones you feel the most, because your glutes are sore. So that's like a little hack that I tell everybody to build the mind muscle connection with.
What are your, and this is kind of for myself personally, what are your thoughts on just like forward lunges, reverse lunges in terms of overall quad development, hamstring development, and glute development?
So, I mean, reverse lunges, I feel like are good for the hamstrings and the When you say front lunges, like you mean stepping forward, walking lunges?
Yeah, just like walking lunges, stepping forward. Yeah, yeah.
So what I learned is that there's different forms of lunges. Like there's a lunge where you could focus on the quads, but that's without your foot being elevated. You walk and you can do a stationary lunge where you just feel your fucking quads, where you shoot your hip and your knee forward and you just dig your feet into the ground, pretend you're separating the ground, and that's all quads. Now, if you in the same position, all you have to do is just hinge a little bit and then drill the back knee down to the ground, keep your chest over your quads, and now you're putting a stretch emphasis on your hamstrings and your glute. And then at the bottom, you contract from the portion where your insertion of your hamstring and your glute meet, squeeze from there, drive up from your glute like you're doing a hip thrust, and now that's hamstring and glutes. So I learned that the exercise could look the same, but internally, if you're conducting it in a different manner, it could target different muscles in different areas. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I kind of went in deep with that.
No, that's good, man. And I would love to have you on, although again, we kind of got your story, we got the backstory of Iron University. Sometime in the future, I'd love to have you come on, just chop up the nuts and bolts of training, because I'm sure we could have a 2-hour podcast with that, right?
Hell
so
yeah.
Why don't you just share anything you want to share with the listeners in closing? Any final thoughts or words? And then where can people find you? Where can people connect with you, Aldo, please?
Well, you can connect with me on the Iron University Instagram account at Iron University. What else? I live in Miami, Florida, but the gym's located in Hondo Beach, Florida. We're open to the public, but I mean, we just, want serious lifters, and we are also open to trainers coming in here and training their clients as well. But obviously it's not like suited for everybody, and that's okay. We don't discriminate. As long as you want to train, we have grandmas coming in here, like people like with MS. As long as you have that mental capacity and mental like fucking drive to train, you're more than welcome to come in here. We're dog friendly because I have a dog. She's here. She's the front desk manager. And if you want more tips and stuff, like I literally post every single day, at least 3-4 times a day. I don't care about the algorithm. I just fucking shoot everything, like vomit, everything that I do. I share it with everybody because I just love sharing shit with people. So
cool, man. Anything that you want to leave with the listeners, or are you good? For trainers out there, if this is your passion, learn human behavior. It's not all about, the textbook, the workouts. You are dealing with different personalities, and a lot of trainers and a lot of, top trainers don't talk about this at all, where they're, teaching people how to train people, is the emotional part of training somebody. If you train a grandma and you train a soccer mom and you train a professional bodybuilder, I'm screaming at the bodybuilder, 5 fucking more. You're not going to speak like that to the grandma unless she wants to. So you have to learn each person's, how they react. And it's not easy, but that is one thing that I like to share with all the trainers out there, or anybody, even in real life, with any business, just learn human behavior. For sure. All right, Aldo, I appreciate you dropping some wisdom and experience on us, man. It's greatly appreciated. Okay.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Cool.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, man. It was great. A lot of valuable information. Listeners, those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and also take this specific episode with Aldo, share it on all of your social media platforms. Make sure you tag Iron University, tag Behind the Muscle, so that Aldo, myself, we know that you guys found value in this specific episode. And that's how more people will find the podcast. They're going to listen. They're going to be positively impacted. And then finally, I will leave you all with this. Remember, behind the muscle, there's always a story. We'll catch you guys later.